Week one of the preseason, we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cincinnati Bengals at home. We get a homer. It's exciting to see the team out. You can see Hurts come out, warming up. There's a couple things we want to see on defense. First of all, where did they deploy Cooper DeJean if he plays? If they decide to go with a starter, do they put him at the corner spot in the slot? Are they going to deploy him out to the free safety so that he can make more plays? Also, do Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson or Bennett from Oakland, which they just acquired, flash at the number 2 corner spot? That's a big position that needs to be solidified. Now, one of them, if Quinyon Mitchell doesn't get the number 1 corner spot tonight and play, will be looked upon to make big plays. From what I'm hearing is that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be starting their frontline guys, I believe, to the first quarter. But we'll see, and that can change. Also, how are the fits, the run fits? In preseason, you're usually seeing a lot of vanilla runs. You're seeing a lot of, small, short gap action, little counters or what have you. They're not showing much. So does the D line know what it's doing, where it's going, who's got what assignment, and who flashes? One name I'd like to talk about is OJ Uchu. I hope I didn't mess up. The Giants uh, uh, acquisition we got. Young defensive lineman. We'll have a chance to play tonight. He may make some plays. Look for the Giants acquisition, this guy to make a play. Also, I want to see the Trotter, the Axeman Jr., come out and make some plays. He's a young linebacker. They say he's smart, making all the plays in camp, and he looks prepared. Now, you don't know what you have, in that corner spot. That's important. We touched on the linebackers, I just said, in the run fits. So now we're going to turn our attention to the offense. So you really just want to see vanilla. You just really want to see guys execute. I'd like to see Tanner McKee throw for about 130, 200 yards. Get the ball in the end zone. He's a starting quarterback in this league eventually, I think. I think they're going to eventually trade this guy, and he may be able to be a starter somewhere in the league. I could be wrong. But he does have a very patient delivery for a tall guy. He's got a very compact delivery. When he steps through his throws, he's almost got a Nick Foles type of delivery where it's very compact and short. You can tell he was probably a good basketball player at some point. Also, I want to see this running back position solidified. You're going to see A.J. Dillon likely. You're maybe going to see Shipley. And I'm hearing a lot of good things about this Florida running back. I want to see him flash. Let's see the offensive line play well, and let's not make any mistakes. And the biggest thing I want to see tonight, which every Eagle fan wants to see this, go Birds, is no injuries. Play a clean game. Let's have everybody play a clean game and just, get out of there. Maybe you get a couple nicks and bruises. Guys will get a concussion because it's the first time these guys have ever hit anybody without, their own uniform colors on. So there's going to be a lot of flying around. The one most important thing I want to see is disciplined football. No mistakes. These guys have been practicing on all these schemes. It's going to be vanilla. So typical high school football, middle school football. Look down the line. Look at the ball when it moves. Don't listen to the cadence. Let's be disciplined, and also don't get any stupid penalties. No fights. No personal fouls that are going to get you, a big 15-yarder. Don't make any silly mistakes by, horse collaring a guy or something like that. So with that being said, I'm going to go with an Eagles win tonight. I actually think there's going to be some scoring going on tonight. I'm going to go with the 24-17 Eagles win. I think we get a special teams return or a big play. Somebody blows somebody up, causes a fumble. Offense. I like the fact that they got Shipley involved, which is what we talked about earlier. We saw no frontline defensive starters, which what I tried to talk about earlier tonight, but we didn't see that.
But what we did see is some serious run fits early in the game. We stopped the Bengals from moving the football, and not to mention the fact that the Bengals had their goddamn frontline offense in there against our basically what will be your second team defensive line and moving the football. And Jamar Chase had this big catch or whatever. But don't forget, they still made some significant stops. But what I want to talk about is this Tanner McKay. Kirk, I think we talked about that he went 20 for 25.
You mentioned that.
He looked good. And Kirk, did you think that his delivery looked good? Did he look like he was command of the offense?
I thought he was.
I thought he looked complete command of the offense. He put the ball in a lot of guys' hands. Aeneas Smith stood out. This guy was drafted last year in the 4th or 5th round to be a slot receiver. So I thought he played pretty good. I liked the way that the defense stood up to them early in the game because they had all their starters in. So we didn't have anybody who did, like maybe Jihad Campbell, maybe Trot Jr. is going to be a starter this year, depending on how this linebacker course shakes up. But I like the way that they stood up to these guys.
We're happy.
I didn't like the way that they handled some of the special teams products. I didn't like some of their fits on some of their returns. Gave the Bengals too much, but that's fine. But the one thing I did like is that we had one thing: no significant injuries. Everybody looked like they came out of the game well. And then 2, we had no big time penalties. Nobody looked foolish, made a bad play, put the Eagles behind the chains or whatever. But I will say the story of the night, which will be on tomorrow's talk radio without a doubt, is that Tanner McKee can sling the rock. And if guys get open, he's going to get it to you in the open field, which is what you need. And he's not the athlete that the general is. But if something were to happen to the general, you need a guy who's going to be able to distribute the football to Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Shipley, and all the other parties in B. This guy looks like he has it. What I like about him, and I'm going to end it with this, what I like about him, he's got a very short arm delivery for a guy who's over like 6'5". He's a big guy. So I like that. And he gives you the ability to continue to stretch the field and move the football. Obviously, nobody moves like Jalen. Nobody pushes the ball downfield. Jalen's probably, in my opinion, probably has the second best deep arm in football next to Joe Burrow. But this guy can push the ball down the field, and that's what we need. We don't need someone who can run around like Jalen when Jalen is out. We need a guy who can just deliver the football and run the offense as it should be. But tonight what we saw is a lot of big-time throws, a lot of set, move the pocket, get out of the way, and make a play.
You were wrong about that special teams touchdown play.
You get nothing.